it's hard. Grind, save that money, trust somebody to actually put you in a position that puts you better off than where you are now.
Yeah. And I guess my final words is you're not alone. Just like you're never. I just did I do a little series called Daily Dawn,
Yeah,
and my Daily Dawn today was about like feeling alone is like almost like a tactic of like the enemy because
yeah,
like we're never alone, and you'd be surprised of the people in the same boat as you.
yeah,
And if they're in the same boat as you, like you should make a plan. But sometimes you need another boat, like me, Scott, insurance. I mean, everybody, like we all need to get to the table and we all need to row together. So just make a plan of attack and trust the plan. It's like if you ever played a sport, like you don't know what you're gonna do until you get hit in the mouth, and even when you get hit in the mouth, it's like, "Let's fall back on the plan." At halftime, we may need to go regroup, like, "Oh, inflation just spiked a little bit, let's go regroup and maybe pull back a little bit," but that
yeah.
doesn't mean quit.
It doesn't.
Don't stop because, like, I feel like if you can dream it, it can happen. Because like, I feel like God wouldn't put an image in your head of something that was unattainable.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name's Scott Werner.
Donovan Johnson, great to be here.
So, Donovan, today I wanted to talk about some hot button topics in the America today. I mean, we got a lot of hot button topics, Trump in, Trump out, this, that, the other. But really, inflation is still here. Remember how inflation was like 2 years ago when it ruined everything, and now, but it's still here.
It is. I mean, what was the stat? About 9% or so?
Yeah.
And dude, like, I feel like when I go grocery shopping, like, you think of taxes being about 10%. So imagine an extra
Yeah.
10% on top. You're paying 20%. That's like a tipping the government. I don't know. It's not good for the program.
It's not good for us. It's not good for us at all. But, here on this podcast, we just like to talk about the non-BS things that are hurting all of us, because both of us are agents. We're living off of this, but we also want to guide other agents and help the buyer or seller in this market, because guess what? That is something that's going to have to happen no matter where we are with inflation. But look, both Donovan and I are licensed real estate agents in Louisiana. We might be talking a little bit about mortgages down the line. I would definitely say, we're not, I will say it right now, we're not mortgage lenders, but when you're an agent, you got to have a multifaceted type of personality. So we know a little bit about it, but always check with the professionals.
So, Scott, besides inflation affecting the prices of eggs, like, dude, when I was in college, I feel like such an old timer for saying this, but back in my day, which is like 2016 to 2019, All-Star Special, 775. Then it got up to about, I think it was like 8.99, but I was like, great prices still.
Yeah.
But dude, I went the other day, it was like almost $14.
Yeah, you and I were sitting together.
You paid, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't remember how much it cost.
It hurt. It hurt the wallet a little bit more, but no, everything is getting up there. So, I mean, truthfully, I think you said, like, we peaked at 9% in 2022, but it's still happening. It's still going on. It's still a worry. I mean, one big thing was mortgage rates, everything else, but inflation is such a big deal. I just don't understand why people. uh,
So look, let me ask you this, like, with the inflation, it obviously affects, like, mortgage rates, like, give them an example of how maybe in, like, 21.
Well, before the show, I did run a couple of numbers. A 400,000, excuse me, $400,000 loan, the
Okay.
difference can cost you right now $600 a month.
And that's not counting utilities and everything else.
That's huge.
Oh, bro.
I just don't understand how we're supposed to, hey, keep up with it, keep up with it. I mean, truthfully, I think this whole inflation issue definitely delays the dreams of what people have for home ownership. It pushes it back. It's something that you just can't, fathom, but it does. It pushes back everybody's dream.
And especially, I think you pretty much said it without saying it, but imagine all the first-time homebuyer homies, like, people may be like, "Man, I wanna make the jump from rent to homeownership," but it's like the entry cost is so high. Even if people, like, in this market, which is more of a buyer's market, are giving concessions and stuff, it can still run a budget really tight.
I mean, the thing is, look, I had a couple of clients, they were ready to buy, but as soon as that inflation hit, grocery bills doubled, energy bills doubled, student loan payments.
Lord, we can do a podcast on that.
Yeah, just that
My
alone.
private school stuff.
Guess what? As soon as that happened, their down payment gone. Poof. And what are we supposed to do from that? I mean, it's not just rates either. Inflation is also pushing houses up, which construction costs, labor costs, everything. You and I, as a contractor background, we both talk about this. It's more expensive to build a house.
Mm,
I'm looking at a house right now. I was looking to build my house when I moved to Lake Charles. This was, 6 years ago. I moved to Lake Charles, and I had a house built, ready to go. Already had plans for it. Guess how big the house was? About
2,500 square feet?
no, about 5,600 square feet, 83
Boy,
exterior. But wait,
boy.
but but wait,
Is
but
this
wait.
in Greatwood?
It is. It is. But the cost of everything has just gone up. Now contractors are not doing living square footage of how much it's gonna cost, it's total square footage. So now
Oh,
I am
wow.
totally wrecking the plans that I had built and being like, "Okay, where can I save? Where can I pull this down?" All because of inflation. It's just something that hurts all of us.
So, bro, if I can just with inflation and all this stuff, like, I feel like one of the big questions I get and, like, I'm not a salesman at heart, I'm really not, I'm a big numbers guy, like,
Yeah,
black and white, like, I just feel like real estate's more of a business than any you can't make an emotional decision in general, but especially with something that's one of the biggest decisions of your life.
yeah.
Should I wait? Should I stay or should I go?
I mean, I think you're with everybody in the room of should I wait? Should I go? Should I buy now? It's paralysis by analysis. Everybody is so worried about numbers and what should I do and how should I do this and why and everything. Truthfully, I have been working with clients that have been looking for 3 years and they're looking for that perfect home and I keep telling them, "Look, we might never find that perfect home. We need to find they're searching in different locations, they're searching different homes, they're searching different everything. I'm like, guys, where do y'all want to be? Tell me where you want to be. Let's find the house within your budget and let's go ahead and move forward with that house. I mean, it's just a crazy world out there.
So, what would you say to somebody that's like, I'm with like, should I wait for the, mortgage rates and inflation to go down?
I mean, the thing is, if you wait, I'm gonna wait for it to crash.
Yeah.
Might never
Oh,
crash.
08 vibes. What you think about that?
That you were waiting. You're waiting, so the thing is, now you're using that wait money for rent, and guess what? That rent is going out the window. That rent's gone. That money that you spend on rent each month, you're not putting equity, so should you wait? There's a time to wait, and there's a time to buy, and we're gonna get through that in a couple of, episodes down the line, but the thing is, waiting is good, but waiting too long is bad because you're using that money that you could have had for I'm sorry, for, a down payment, but now you use it for rent and you have nothing to show for it.
You said some by the way, like, when I first got into real estate, me and Scott were both at, Flavin, and that's what his green reminded me of them. He's gonna
Listen,
want that
I'm
edited
still
out.
I'm still I'm
But
still there in heart.
but,
Still in heart.
he said something that really, like, reminded me or not reminded, but really made me be like, "That's a bar," was like, "Rent is 100% interest." And I was like, "Golly," like, as a renter even currently, I'm like,
Yeah,
"That's tough."
yeah.
Like,
I mean, when we were working at Flavin, I knew somebody that has been renting for 25 years. Never bought a home, just rented. I'm like, it just makes me scratch my head of why? Why are you throwing that money out the window? Why are you not saving it? Why are you not putting it in equity into a house? I know that that person might have not been able to buy the house 25 years ago, but at some point in time, you have to put up or shut up, and you have to go ahead and stock some money in and put equity. Build into a industry that helps you. It's an investment. Houses are an investment. They will always be an investment. Guess what? House prices through inflation are still growing. It's not a bad investment. Yes, they might get hit, but I mean, wouldn't you want to own your own piece in the American society? That's how you get that. And I mean, that's just something that you have to be proud in. You have to put the money in. If you don't put the money into your own plot, I feel like you're missing. I just totally feel like you're missing if you don't do that.
So
Beto?
I'm gonna say 2 things. One, I'm gonna make you brag on yourself. Tell us about the, Taco Bell worker that you got really close with.
Really close with sounds bad, but yeah,
Oh my I'm sorry, Sarah wanted this is strictly was Scott being his huh?
professional.
Yeah, professional, like, why would you even say that? It wasn't even like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's like me when I wanted see, stop, stop.
We're
In
not
the
going
box,
we're
in the
going in the box.
box. I wanted
Alright,
to
let's
say
jump
something earlier that was out of
look
pocket, but I
look, we're
stopped.
gonna jump back in the box. We're in the safe box.
Alright.
So so you oh, increase. So what were you saying? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Like, I feel like there's people that don't believe they can ever buy, and I felt like you walked one of because you're a Taco Bell fanatic, like,
I am.
I don't know
I am.
how your plumbing system isn't backed up, how much you love Taco
I do
Bell.
love some Taco Bell.
So, like, I've seen this dude will go cook for the fam and then go eat Taco Bell, call me like, "Hey, wanna go to Taco Bell?" I'm like, "Dog, what'd you eat for dinner?" He's like, "I didn't eat none of that
I
stuff."
didn't need that.
Like, what is wrong with
I
you?
don't eat my own cooking.
It's really Sarah cooking, I'm sorry.
I
But
don't
anyway, like, I just feel like you should just talk about how, like I felt like it was a process she couldn't buy right away, and you helped her your credit fix and all that,
Yeah, I mean, we're still working on that. She's still a friend of mine. She's a general manager actually over
which
at the
is
Taco
dope,
Bell.
which is
I
dope.
mean, the thing is she's like, "Scott, look, truthfully, if you ever have an issue, if you ever have an issue, I got you." So I was like, "Yes, I have a general manager at Taco Bell that owes me."
The last thing Imma say about waiting versus not, like and I mentioned it earlier that this right now is a
Sorry guys, new setup.
yeah, we're good. Is a it's more of a buyer's market than a seller's market, meaning that there's a lot of inventory and not as many buyers, which means the buyer holds a little bit more power in the sense that things are sitting. If you wait a little too long and then a rush of buyers come in, the problem is that competition goes up.
Yep,
So it's like it reminds me of JD Rockefeller, one of the richest men ever. Like he said, buy when others are fearful
yep,
and save when others are greedy.
yep.
So and look, we're not over here beating you over the head to buy a home. Like that is not our vibe at all. That is not our intention. Our whole thing is just providing enough information so you can make an educated decision.
So question, who is being hurt most by inflation?
Man, like, and I feel like it's way worse in way bigger cities, but I feel like it's the renters
Yeah,
at the heart of it.
okay. What about the first time home buyers?
And we kinda already hit on that point of, like, first-time homebuyers, there's a good chance you may just be getting out of school, you may be in that entry-level job position, and you only have so much wiggle room in your budget unless you're like, a loan officer says, "Hey, you can have a gift," like, if you are blessed for I say a gift meaning, like, people can donate money, family member or something to help you out, but, like, you can't cross your fingers and hope for that, you know?
Yeah.
So
Hey, I have a question. Do you have any tips for buyers in this inflated market?
man, I would just run my numbers extremely high. Like, don't lowball anything. Like, overestimate the cost. Know that with home ownership, the rule of thumb is 1%. But like, what if your HVAC or something goes out? And that's what's good about renting. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. There's no HOA fees. There's no nothing. You can just pass it to the homeowner. But you just need to make sure that you're like I's and T's are crossed. Like good inspections. I would get a home warranty.
I mean, as you and I talked about yesterday, it depends on actually who the home warranty company is, because sometimes you have home warranty companies that won't do this, can't do that. So it's all, and guess what? That's the best thing about having a real estate agent, truthfully, because I mean, they really rely on us to move forward. And if you try to do it without it, it's a scary position because, I mean, you can get in so many loopholes and snag yourself real quick. But, I mean, like you said, I think one big issue is to budget with inflation in mind. You have to be able to budget with inflation in mind because if not, you're just pricing yourself out. I think another thing is get pre-approved early. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything to get pre-approved. It's not gonna hurt anything to see where you are. Just like you said with that Taco Bell lady. She was not ready. She's still not ready, but guess what? She's working to fix her credit. If you show somebody that they have importance in credit and it's important to keep it, then they become protective of it, and it makes the system better, especially for that person.
Um, if I can add something,
Yeah,
I think it's about simply getting pre-approved also, to where you know kinda what your range is,
yeah,
because once you it's like 50 Cent window shopping, like, great song, but you know how lame it is to go window shop, look at all these houses you think you really want, and then that thing come back at about 140,000 versus or even less,
yeah.
and now you've been looking at the 220, like, DSLD homes or whatever and all that, and now you gotta go not where you wanna
Yeah,
be, you know?
it's a at that point in time, it's a total mindset change of, "Okay, do I want to put it in to an area that I was never really looking at, or do I want to hold off, wait, and rent a little bit longer and save that money?" I mean, that's why you and I have been talking about rental is great, but the thing is, you don't wanna rent just to keep renting. Rent with a purpose.
Mm.
Your purpose at the end of that is going to be to buy. If you rent just to rent because you don't know anything, that's where you make stupid mistakes. That's where your uneducatedness of the market hurts you. Rent with a purpose. I mean right now, especially right now, the government has grants for first-time home buyers. They have things for first-time home buyers. I mean, haven't you helped a couple of people with governmental grants on first-time home buyer?
I wish I could remember what the exact grant was called, but, bro, they were giving out there's like a pot basically, the government allotted money, and I forgot how many, like, millions it is, but you can get up to $25,000 worth of assistance to where and it was like they had paid off their down payment, they, paid their whole year well, you usually have to pay the insurance upfront, but
Yeah.
they had even money left over to where they were able to, walk away, like, they didn't come to the table with anything.
Mm,
And that's they did make less than 65,000 a year, but imagine that was a qualification.
but that's still huge.
Oh, what?
That's still huge. I mean, and I bet something that they did was consider the location. I mean, they wanted to make sure that they were in a safe location, but they trusted you to put them in a location where they wanted to be and feel safe, but maybe it was not that location that they ultimately wanted, but they trusted a real estate agent to put them in a location that they are okay with and saying, "Hey, this might be my first step into homeownership." To get to the, bigger picture, and that's the thing, you have to consider
And
location flexibility.
speaking of locations, the cool part was is that the fence was kinda beat up, and through that grant money and everything, we were able to negotiate a fence into the deal that made the wife feel, like, so much better about their 2 kids. So, like, it was just a really big win-win, and I didn't know it, but the lender was like, "Hey, I think they qualify." Came back the next day and was just like, "Hey," and they my people were, like, over the moon.
I mean, and that's the greatest thing with working with a professional real estate agent is we have the profession of people, we get the profession of everybody else. We might be multifaceted in what we know and what we're okay with, but we go ahead and say, "Hey, talk to this loan officer, talk to that person." I mean, we're great real estate agents to make sure that we guide you in the right way. Truthfully, let's wrap this up. We're here, we're now, and truthfully, I'm ready to go to that next episode of the secretive thing that you and I have going on. But, the rundown on inflation and the housing hustle, it's not hopeless. It's not. It's harder, yes. It's harder, but it's not hopeless. It's hard. Grind, save that money, trust somebody to actually put you in a position that puts you better off than where you are now.
Yeah, and I guess my final words is you're not alone, just like you're never al I just did a daily I do a little series called Daily Dawn,
Yeah,
and my Daily Dawn today was about, like, alone feeling alone is, like, almost like a tactic of, like, the enemy, because
yeah,
like, we're never alone, and you'd be surprised of the people in the same boat as you,
yeah,
and if they're in the same boat as you, like, you should make a plan, but sometimes you need another boat like me, Scott, insurance, I mean, everybody, like, we all need to get to the table, and we all need to row together, so just make a plan of attack and trust the plan. It's like, if you ever played a sport, like, you don't know what you're gonna do until you get hit in the mouth, and even when you get hit in the mouth, it's like, "Let's fall back on the plan." At halftime, we may need to go regroup, like, "Oh, inflation just spiked a little bit. Let's go regroup and maybe pull back a little bit," but that
yeah.
doesn't mean quit.
It doesn't.
Don't stop because, like, I feel like if you can dream it, you can it can happen. Because like, I feel like God wouldn't put an image in your head of something that was unattainable. Guys, we stopped recording for a moment, but, we realized we didn't get to really tell you the Taco Bell story. So, Scott, like, I know it's ongoing, but just walk us through how the process is going right now.
I'm gonna go through the story right now, or yeah, right now. All right. So we met this lady, and she works for Taco Bell. She's a general manager over there, and I gave her to one of my lenders, and he's like, "Scott, she's just not going to be able to do anything right now." And we talked with her. We said, "Look, look, we need to get your credit up, and we need to get you here when you were here, or here when you were here." And you know what it did to her? It put a fire in under her to be like, "Look, I need this credit." And so she, for the past year, she has been working on this credit. Every time I go to the doc, to ask her where she is, and she's like, "We're getting there, and we're getting there." And she has more. She has a love for her credit now, and I think that a lot of people don't have a love for her credit. They just don't understand what credit is. And she's like protecting her credit. She's like, "Hey, my boyfriend wanted to do this." I'm like, "No, let's pay this off with that money." So she's building credit. She is making herself more credible, which actually makes her a better person just because she's blossoming in front of me of this person that was like, didn't know what credit was, didn't care what credit was, to the person that actually cares and is on her way to homeownership.
And like, what's so cool is like, why strive when you could thrive? Why survive when you
Yeah,
can thrive? You know, and like, doesn't she have kids too?
she does. And that's the thing. I think it's building generations. Because the thing is, if she shows that that this credit is important to her, her kids are going to understand credit is important to them, and it's building growth. And I think sometimes that's where our world kind of fails, is looking towards the future and building growth into our future. So that's where we're at.
Man, I kinda if I could put the bow on top of the
Yeah.
story you just kinda wrapped, because
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a gift place a bow on something. Like, imagine, like, how cool that closing picture is gonna be. Like, I feel like there's 1 or 2 closings that are super close to my heart, and I feel like that one's always gonna stand out when it happens, and, like, she may be the type to finally buy something and then get her credit so nice, may even move up again in the Taco Bell spot, and before you know it, she's like, "Scott, I want a rent house."
Yeah.
Like, "Scott, I wanna how do I do this?" Like,
Yeah.
so it's just I see the possibilities are endless, and I'm just thankful because it's a patient game.
It is.
And I think one of the other cool factors is she doesn't see you as a salesman, you know? You're not, "Hey, you could,
Right.
whatever." And, like, it's just very much like you care about her and you just helping her, you're being a light. That's what we're
I think great real estate agents are sometimes great friends as well, because I mean, we're part of that family. We're building that future. We're being honest and upfront and getting to that end point. And it's not, that end point is not just a closing sometimes, it's well beyond that.
That's dope, bro. Congrats, and I look forward to sharing that post. Y'all take it easy.
Dude, that was a